friends, it's Monica and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for this vlog because honestly I'm going to be covering a lot in this video. So if you can't tell, I am in a different location. I have moved. I'm going to be doing a little like walkthrough tour so you can see what it's looking like right now, sort of in the early days. So I'll have that at the end. I also am really excited, or not really excited. I also definitely will be doing a little bit of a story time at the end of this video about just how chaotic moving into this apartment was, because it was very dramatic and very difficult. So excited to tell you all about that. But yeah, this is just like a little New York City vlog. The first couple days are still in my old apartment, and I was going to film a whole vlog of like the moving process, but because it was so chaotic, I just could not mentally get myself to pick up a camera. So yeah, no actual moving vlog, but I will be talking about the moving process and doing a little apartment tour, which I'm excited for. Before I dive in and hand over to myself from the past, I did want to give a big thank you to this video sponsor, which is Book of the Month. And Book of the Month is a super popular and fast-growing online book service for readers. Their mission is to promote new and emerging authors and to help readers discover books they love. The way that it works is that their team vets hundreds of books each month so that they can create a curated selection of new and early release titles so that you can spend more time reading and less time researching. And I love Book of the Month because they have a wide variety of genres, and you can also, if for some reason the books that they pick for a month just don't interest you, they also have a fantastic skip policy, so you could just skip that month and you won't be charged. And really exciting is that Book of the Month is expanding, so they are now available in Canada, which I think is fantastic. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Book of the Month has the best price for new release and hardcover fiction, and you can get your first book for just $9.99 with my code MONICA. And then I picked 2 books from this month's selections, and they both sound like the perfect autumnal reads. So first we have Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young, and this one is meant to be a deeply atmospheric story about ancestral magic and unsolved murder and a second chance at love. So yes, it just sounds magical and super vibey, and the cover is beautiful. So I was really excited about this one. And then this one is Thistlefoot, which has been one of my most anticipated books of the year. This one is by Jenna Rose Nethercott, and this is a take on the Baba Yaga myth, but this one is set in modern day, and we follow these 2 siblings who have basically been bequeathed this house on chicken legs that can walk, and they are given it in their inheritance. And I believe they like take the house on like a cross-country tour, and they do like theatrical performances, which just sounds really cool and magical. And yeah, very, very intrigued for both of these and excited to have them in my possession. If you want to learn more about these books and all of these selections for this month, I will have Book of the Month linked down below. But without further ado, I'm gonna pass it on over to me from the past. Really excited about this vlog. I'm basically sharing 2 really special days for me, just like in New York City, early autumn days. And then at the end, I will be doing a apartment tour and talking about the craziness of moving into this apartment. Today is the last day of Fashion Week and also my first day of Fashion Week this year. I'm heading to the Selkie runway show, and I am so excited. I went last year and it was such an honor and so cool just to see all of the designs and to just be in that sort of environment. And I'm really excited for this year. I've seen some behind the scenes sneak peeks and everything looks just stunning, so I'm really excited. And of course I had to wear a Selkie dress for the occasion, and I definitely went all out. I just sort of added every accessory that I owned. If you want to see my get ready process, I have that over on my TikTok. I'm actually running before the show to get my new COVID booster, the one that just came out, and my flu shot. So I'm gonna do that first and then head to the fashion show. And yeah, big day, big day. completely exhausted. I ended up stopping, oh god, I ended up stopping to get some birria tacos. There was like a food truck like a couple blocks away, so I picked that up. I also went and got some drinks with a couple people who I met at the show, which was really fun. And I just like, gosh, I like have so many thoughts about the show, but I honestly have not eaten a single thing today, and it's almost 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna eat this first, and then I'm gonna do some like thoughts and feelings, because I have a lot of thoughts and feelings. Today was beautiful. It was beautiful, magical, wonderful, all the things. Yeah, so I took some shots of the Selkie show. They have like the full recording, so if you actually want to see the full recording, you can watch that from them. But I just want to talk about the experience, because I think for me, like, I've gone to a few of like these kinds of events, like fancy New York City fashion things, and every time before I go and when I first get there, I am just filled with dread and anxiety and just ultimate imposter syndrome. And I just have this feeling of like, I don't belong here whenever I'm going to these kinds of events. And I'll be honest, like, there have been times when I've gone to events like this and I've left them not feeling great and very much so feeling that imposter syndrome and feeling that like I don't belong here-ness of it all. But what I love about Selkie is that I never feel it with them. Like, I don't know, I feel like the community that surrounds a brand can really say something about the brand itself. And for me, what I love so much about these shows is that, like, even today I went there so anxious and nervous and just, again, feeling like a total imposter. And at first, like, it was a struggle and I was awkward and I struggled to like talk to people or find people to talk to. And just as the event went on, I found more people who I recognized, who I am mutuals with, or who I actually know. And I also met new people, like new, incredibly kind, genuine, generous people. But yeah, I just like, it's frustrating sometimes following along with Fashion Week. If you aren't white and not even straight sized, like tiny sized, it can be frustrating because there is so, while I think things are improving, I still feel like, you know, it's really hard still to like find that diversity. You know, I think for me, one thing that was really frustrating, for example, is I'm a huge fan of Sandy Liang as a designer, and her show was just like, it just felt very like 90s heroine chic, you know, and it's frustrating to see a designer who is so often looked at as like one of the future faces of fashion still be so backwards in that sense. But it is really exciting to see a brand like really think about the fact that their clothes are going to go on real people. I think that's the thing that like always bugs me about fashion is like, I hate this idea of like models being like a hanger for clothes, of like clothes just like, of like them not filling the clothes, you know? Fashion is for people. It goes on people's bodies. And if you are a designer and you can't design for different body shapes, then like, in my mind, like, are you really a good designer? Like, are you just making like random art pieces that should just be in a museum and maybe not on people's bodies? I don't know. Neither here nor there. I loved the show. It was just, every single piece was so beautiful. I desperately want the bags. Oh my gosh, the bags were so stunning. And the bloomers that they showed, like the ruffled bloomers, the ruffled jackets. Stunning. Absolutely impeccable. Also, I was a little bit worried that I like went a little overboard with the bows, but then I saw the show and absolutely not. I wore exactly the right amount of bows for this show, so I felt great about that. And yeah, I mean, also for me, like, I just feel sort of on cloud nine right now. I will be 100% honest, like, as I was leaving the apartment, I started getting really bad anxiety, and especially like as soon as I walked in there, and things like Fashion Week can feel so hierarchical, you know, when you have like the people who are sitting, people who are standing, who you know, who you don't know. And I started feeling that like when I first got there, like just this like feeling of like, I don't belong here. I'm some nobody. And like, who do I think I am to be at this show? and to be amongst all these people. And I'm not saying that I don't feel that way anymore, but I had fun is the thing. I think I'm gonna go take off these braids, this makeup, and curl up into bed and read because I just want to be cozy and comfy. So that's my plan. Hello! We are currently at a Renaissance fair in upstate New York, and I've already made a cheeky little purchase. And we are currently looking for jousting, which I'm very excited for.
I'm excited too.
Yes.
I've never seen a joust before.
Me neither.
We should go to medieval times.
Yes, please.
We should go.
Yes. Vlog portion of this video. I will be honest, I did think I had more footage of the Renaissance Fair than I did. So it was a very short section, but I had so much fun. It was my first time ever getting to go to a Renaissance Fair, and definitely not my last. I've always wanted to go, but they've always been so far away, or I've just never had people to go with. So it's really fun to finally be able to attend one this year. And yeah, now I am in my new apartment. You might be able to tell I'm kind of surrounded by boxes. Actually, I'm not really sure what's in frame right now. But yeah, we moved in a few weeks ago at the beginning of October. I think it was already chaotic because I just had so much in general going on in September. And then I went on my trip to LA, and I had planned it originally so that trip, because originally we were going to be moving September 1st, but then we ended up staying an extra month. So I booked that trip with the idea that I would have already been moved in, not that I would be moving like a couple days after getting home from LA. So that was like already causing just like my stuff to be a little bit chaotic. And then we just had a lot of issues with the actual apartment. So this was meant to be the easiest move of my life because we were just moving to another apartment in the place that we already lived. So we were definitely looking forward to just like what we thought was going to be a super easy, low-key move, but that did not end up being the case. Basically what happened was the people who were in this apartment, there were like 4 people in here, and they were all strangers. So they all like had their doors locked to each other, and we had come to, and all of them like wanted to move on. I don't think any of them really liked that environment that they were living in. So yeah, we came and saw the apartment as much as we could, because the issue is that we had to like coordinate, us and like the building management had to like coordinate with these like 4 different people to try and like come and see each of their rooms separately. And we saw 2 out of 4. And also the living space, but we didn't see 2 of the rooms. However, we were in contact with those 2 other people, and they sent us videos of the space. One sent us photos and videos of the space as she was currently living in it. The other one, and this probably should have been a red flag, sent us a video of the room that like right before she moved in. And so yeah, we basically, on the day that we were meant to be moving, I'm in contact with the super, like, hey, when are we going to be able to get the keys in order to like, so because we're moving in really early in the morning, so we need the keys so that we can, you know, get in. And he was like, you'll have them today, blah, blah, blah. And the day comes and goes, and suddenly it's 7 p.m. So I'm texting him, I'm emailing the management, like, hey, when are we getting those keys? And the super is like, you know, basically the issue is that there was one person in the apartment who hadn't moved out, and she still had to like move out and hand over keys. And the super was like, she is meant to be coming home right now, and once she's in, and she gives the keys to the cleaning lady, then you'll be able to get in, or you'll be able to have the keys. So 7 p.m. comes and goes, nothing. 8 p.m. comes and goes, nothing. And then around like 8:30, I text again and he's like, oh yeah, like the cleaning lady just got in and once she is done, she'll come down and give you the keys. And at this point, I'm like a little bit nervous. So I end up going to the apartment just to see. And when I get there, I notice that there's a woman sitting outside, and I go up to her and I'm like, hi, do you live here? And she's like, no, I'm the cleaning lady, and I'm waiting for this woman to get here so I can get in and clean. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how long have you been waiting? And she'd been waiting. It's like 9 p.m. now. It's 10 p.m. now. She had been waiting since 7 p.m. to be let into this apartment. And I felt awful. So I was like, do you want to come down at least and like wait in our apartment? Like you could sit on the couch, which is a lot more comfortable than these stairs. But she was so nervous about missing the girl, so she declined, and I felt really bad. And the girl, I guess at that point, was like not replying to her at all. So I ended up going back downstairs and I waited another 30 minutes and it just sort of felt off for me. So I went back upstairs and she still hadn't been let in. It was like 30 minutes later. And so I was like, I'm going to check. There's like another entrance. So I went, I was like, I'm just going to check the other entrance. So I went and did that. And I heard someone, like I could hear someone in the apartment from this other entrance. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm pretty sure that this girl's in here and she's just ignoring this woman. So I knock on the door and she doesn't answer, but I could tell she can hear me because I can hear her and she's on the phone. So I basically just stand out there and I'm like, I'm just going to annoy this girl until she answers the door. So I'm out there, I'm banging on the door for like 15 minutes. She finally answers it. And at this point, I'm like so upset. Like I think I'm like upset for myself because I'm like sitting there or standing there like knocking on a door for this long, which is really frustrating. And also just like outraged for this woman who is being made to just like wait around for this girl. Anyway, so I'm banging on the door. I'm like, hi, are you letting the cleaning lady in? Like she's waiting for you. And she's like, oh yeah, I have to answer that. And I was like, yeah, you do. Oh my gosh, I've been, that alone, if that had just been everything, like I was just livid about that. Like to like have someone be waiting on you for that long. Anyways, so I felt really bad for this woman already. But the other issue is that now the door is open to the apartment and I kind of smell something. And I'm concerned because there was no smell when I first saw the apartment. So I was a little bit nervous. I was like, okay, I might bring up a couple like fragile things because I'm nosy. And the girl said, okay. So I go back downstairs. I make sure that the cleaning lady is able to get into the apartment. And I go down and I gather a couple like fragile things that I did want to actually take up before the movers came. So I got my stuff and I go upstairs and I go into the apartment and it smells like cat pee. Like it smells so bad. And I was just ready to just have a breakdown. Like it was rough. And at this point, Kaylee wasn't home because she had a concert that night. So I'm like texting her all these updates and like freaking out. And yeah, so I go downstairs, I email management, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, this apartment, like we can't move in if it smells like this. Like this is like a cleanliness issue. There's obviously something going on. Anyways, fast forward, they contact people, they talk to the cleaning lady. So normally like a cleaning like this, like just, you know, cleaning an apartment, you like sort of clean the walls, clean the floors of all the rooms, and obviously like do more of a deep clean in the bathroom and kitchen, but it usually takes like a couple of hours from what I understand. At least that's what the cleaning lady told me. But she ended up having to stay in the apartment until 4:30 in the morning. That's when I got the call from her to like come up and see the space and like make sure that it was clean and do like a walkthrough. And I will say that like one, we like very generously tipped her, because even though like obviously the building pays her, like nobody should have to like stay that late. And like I felt awful that this girl like did that to her and like had her waiting for 3 hours. So I go upstairs and see the apartment, and 90% of it is great. Like she did a great job. Like 90% of it is great. The issue, and I think what caused the smell, is that there is one room and it was this girl's room. I think she had a pet, probably a cat, that she was very badly neglecting. And so there was just like animal pee stains all over the floor, and like black large spots all over the floor, and the whole room like reeked, and like she did everything she could in order to clean it, but that's the kind of thing that like you can't get rid of with just a basic cleaning. And I think previously, because those doors had been shut, like we just hadn't noticed it when we had come to see the space before. And I think in the process of everybody moving out, those doors being open, it was like all of that smell finally got to the rest of the apartment. So anyways, it's been chaotic, and that was really rough. I had like 50 emails that I was sending to management of just like all of the issues, and that was the biggest one. Luckily, they have seemed to be taking it pretty seriously. They've done a couple different treatments in the space so far. Unfortunately, neither have fixed the issue entirely, so I won't be including that one in the apartment tour just yet. It's just an empty space, but yeah, we just don't go in there yet, and they've like promised to like reduce our rent until they get it fixed. So yeah, they're basically just trying different things right now in order to fix that space, but it's very, very frustrating. I feel really bad because that's also like meant to be Kaylee's office, so she doesn't get that space yet, which is, you know, annoying. But yeah, sadly, that is where we're at right now, and it's a bummer. It's definitely like, we were so excited to be like moved in and just to be able to like, you know, get started on things, and to not have access to that space is definitely gutting and really frustrating. But we're hopeful that they'll be able to fix it soon so that we can get in there and, you know, be fully moved in and everything. So alas, that is life. Sometimes things don't go the way that you planned them to go. I feel like I'm a bit more chill now than I was like a couple weeks ago. Like it's just been very chaotic and stressful. But yeah, now I'm going to do a quick little apartment tour. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you first walk in. And we're so excited because we actually have a closet to use as a pantry. It's the little things for us. But yeah, so in here we basically have all of our like cleaning supplies and food. Like we had 0 closets in our last place, so the fact that we now have 2 is really wild. So this is the kitchen, which is also wild for us because in our last apartment, I never did like a proper tour, but basically add like 2 more feet onto this, and this was our living room. And so we had like the couch here, and we just would watch the microwave. So the fact that the kitchen is separate, again, huge luxury, so exciting for us. And yeah, very excited about it. And then over here is Kaylee's bathroom, which is super cute. She's got some art up and everything already. It's adorable. All the plants, love it. And then this is our little like extra kitchen space. And then obviously, as I mentioned, Kaylee has not been able to move into her office yet, so there's some of those bits around. And over here we have a Kaylee in her beautiful bedroom. She has gotten a lot further than me in decorating, and it looks so cute. All the plants, and again, a closet.
Oh, incredible stuff.
We love closets. You don't realize how beneficial a closet is until you live without them. And then we have our living room. Again, we did not have a living room in our last place, so truly wild. And another closet, y'all. Just truly all the luxuries. Now that we actually have a living room, Kaylee bought a television. We've been watching only Gilmore Girls, but what else do you need? And then over here is my bathroom, which I am in the process of decorating and obviously going for a very pink vibe. And then here's the living room, just from another direction in case you were interested. We're going to be doing our gallery wall soon, which I'm super excited for. Back there is the room that we don't talk about just yet. So yeah, and here's my bedroom, which is kind of a disaster right now. I'm going for a very like princessy vibe in here, but I'm waiting on some pieces, but my projector is going to be going up there, and I did get my projector screen hung, just waiting on my curtains to get here, and then I'll probably start hanging up all of my art and stuff. And then I also have a closet, very exciting. But yeah, that is the space so far, and I'm really excited to bring you all along. I'm going to be doing a few different like decor videos. So next up I think is going to be me putting together my library space, which I'm so excited for. Oh my goodness, just to have space to put books is so exciting. And yeah, this place is definitely a huge upgrade from our last space, which we are super excited about. Very excited to bring you all along as we continue to make this space our own. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Get a Book of the Month, for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!